CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
Hello and welcome to Prime Property, your weekly real estate reckoner. I'm Nayantara Rai and this is what we have on the show today. It's a massive victory by DLF. The Securities Appellate Tribunal overturned SEBI's harshest ever order, lifts a 3-year ban on DLF from accessing the capital markets. SAT questions the somersault done by SEBI after 7 years of the DLF IPO and said the entire case was based on a complaint filed by a person with vested interests. Delays by the Environment Ministry is hurting at least 30,000 home buyers in Noida. Tired of waiting for the Union Ministry to issue a notification that will allow possession of their flats, consumers petitioned the Prime Minister's office to intervene and expedite the Okla Bird Sanctuary case. 54,000 people, that's home buyers and their families, have signed that petition. In the first of our 3-part series on Navi Mumbai, we find out how property prices are trending in anticipation of the financial capital's second airport. And we head down south to Tamil Nadu, where the state government will again miss its revenue target from land registration. A major shot in the arm for DLF. It has won its appeal against a 3-year ban from accessing capital markets imposed by the market regulator SEBI. This means the market regulator SEBI's harshest ever order has been overturned by the Securities Appellate Tribunal, or SAT. The DLF stock had crashed 28% and lost over 7,000 crore rupees in market capitalization when SEBI had pronounced its order. While delivering the verdict, SAT said SEBI had not been pragmatic. The stock rallied very strongly on the day of the SAT ruling. SAT has reduced the ban to 6 months from the day of its imposition, meaning it lasts for another 1 month. SAT concluded that neither DLF nor any of its promoters or executives derived any gains from withholding information and therefore should not be penalized. In a statement, DLF said, and I quote, "DLF is yet to receive the SAT judgment, which has set aside the SEBI order against the company. DLF and its board were guided by and acted on the advice of eminent legal advisors, merchant bankers and audit firms while formulating its offer documents in 2007. We have full faith in the judicial system and we will always abide by its order," unquote. SEBI's whole-time director Rajiv Agarwal, in the 43-page order against DLF, had banned the debt-burdened company for withholding key information at the time of its record-breaking IPO of 9,000 crore rupees in 2007. SEBI's 3-year ban had also extended to DLF chairman KP Singh, his son and DLF vice chairman Rajiv Singh, and KP Singh's daughter Priya Singh, the company's managing director TC Goel. Ramesh Sanka, who was CFO at the time of the IPO and now works with real estate firm IREO, as was Kameshwar Swaroop, who was DLF's legal head and has since retired. The verdict will boost DLF in its struggle to reduce its debt, which stood at over 20,000 crore rupees, or over a staggering $3 billion at the end of December 2014. For instance, there are compulsory convertible preference shares in a DLF subsidiary held by the promoter due for conversion in April 2015. DLF and its promoters can now revive plans to take over this 40% economic interest held by the promoters in the subsidiary DLF Cyber City Developers in lieu of the listed company's shares. This will push the promoter's stake above 75%, which would then have to be brought down to the SEBI-mandated levels via a stake sale. The proceeds of this stake sale can be used to reduce debt. This entire strategy that had been planned earlier was blown to pieces by the SEBI order. Then, DLF can safely go ahead with its plans to list real estate investment trusts, or REITs. While the SEBI order would not have impacted REIT plans, it did serve as an overhang. As a company insider says, the SEBI order had made investors jittery of anything with a DLF tag. But that still hadn't deterred DLF from appointing JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley last month to advise the company on listing 2 REITs, one for offices and the other for shopping malls. There are also now no clouds on DLF's plans to raise another 3,000 to 4,000 crore rupees via commercial mortgage-backed securities, or CNBC. And call this a case of jumping the gun and being over-exuberant from a massive victory at SAT, but senior executives are already raising this question internally. Who will compensate DLF and its promoters for the financial loss and dented reputation in case SEBI loses at the apex court? SEBI sources have said They will move the Supreme Court, where DLF is fighting another regulator, the competition watchdog CCI. The Supreme Court still has to deliver a verdict in the infamous case of CCI imposing a 630 crore rupee penalty on DLF for signing anti-competitive and one-sided buyer agreements for premium and luxury projects in Gurgaon. There are other legal problems as well, but none that has occupied the promoters and top management as the SEBI order. For instance, the Punjab and Haryana High Court cancelled the 350 acres of prime land in Gurgaon that DLF had won in a state auction in 2010 for 1,750 crore rupees and instructed the state government to re-auction within 6 months. This particular land parcel is important to DLF as it's contiguous with its famous golf course. That's also in the Supreme Court. The fate of 54,900 apartments in Noida, constructed and under construction, as well as 30,000 buyers of flats, continues to hang in the balance as the Environment Ministry is dragging its feet on deciding an eco-sensitive zone around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary. These home buyers have now petitioned the Environment Ministry and the Prime Minister's office to expedite the decision-making process and bring closure once and for all. More than 50,000 people have signed those petitions, stating they are undergoing immense mental and financial hardship every day because of the delay. All these consumers continue to stare at the prospect of losing their investments as the National Green Tribunal over a year ago had banned real estate activity within a 10-kilometer radius of the Okhla Bird Sanctuary in Delhi. Here's how it all unfolded. The bone of contention is the identification of an eco-sensitive zone surrounding the Okhla Bird Sanctuary. The National Green Tribunal in 2013 had directed the Ministry of Environment and Forest to identify such an area while directing that all construction in a 10-kilometer radius be halted. The NGT had refrained the Noida Authority from granting completion certificates to any of the projects in the zone, which thereby banned builders from handing over possession of flats to the buyers. The NGT had also deemed all environmental clearances as inoperational until a no-objection certificate is secured from the National Board for Wildlife. The Supreme Court in June 2014 dismissed JP Infra's petition against the NGT ban. The Apex Court ruled the stage for appeals has not yet arrived as the government still has to take a decision on demarcating the boundaries of the eco-sensitive zone around the bird sanctuary as directed by the NGT. The Apex Court reasoned that if it allowed people to reside in these projects now, it could later become a serious problem to deal with if any non-compliance of environmental problems were to surface in the future. On the 24th of September 2014, the Environment Ministry issued a draft proposal on the issue. It said an area of up to 100 meters from the eastern, western and southern boundary of the sanctuary and an area of up to 1.27 kilometers from the northern boundary would be treated as the eco-sensitive zone. This is crucial as it gives the green signal to all upcoming and completed real estate projects in Noida. Public comments were invited for 60 days, that's till November 24, 2014. The Environment Ministry took care of all objections by January 2015, but there's still no notification.
A petition has been moved by a request or a petition from a large number of residents. To my information, more than 50,400 people have signed that, and it has been sent or being sent to the PMO with a request to look into the matter, to expedite the notification so that these people can get their much awaited homes.
Consumers in the petition to the Prime Minister's office and the Environment Ministry have written, and I quote from it, "Despite paying in full for the property after obtaining the bank loans, we are taking a double hit as we are paying EMIs along with the rent for the property in our present occupation. The most ironical issue is, even if we decide to give up our dream of buying the allotted house to us, we are not allowed to transfer the same at this stage until passing of the final notification." It all started as an issue of concern for migratory birds. However, the delay by the government of India has made our lives more miserable than the migratory birds. Any further delay may leave many of us with no option but to become back defaulters, unquote.
It would be fair to say that if the decision doesn't come soon enough, there could be all forms of agitation by the residents including public protest, to taking up the matter at the highest court of the land, or writing to the Prime Minister, because these people are desperate and under tremendous financial duress.
And while we're discussing delays, in a big relief to 25,000 applicants who have been waiting for the last 34 years to get possession of plots in Rohini in West Delhi, the Supreme Court this week directed the state-owned Delhi Development Authority, or the DDA, to develop the land and allot the plots in a time-bound manner. The court said that the delay of 34 years on the part of the DDA was a big fraud. A bench headed by Justice J.S. Kher directed the DDA to hand over 11,000 plots by April 10 this year. It asked the DDA to provide water, electricity, sewage and road facilities by that time. A deadline of July 31st, 2016 has been set for the remaining 14,000 plots. Giving a stern warning that no further delay would be tolerated, the bench told the DDA Vice Chairman and his Chief Engineer, who were both directed to be personally present, that the erring officials would be sent to jail in case the authority failed to finish the task within the time frame fixed by it. The Environment Ministry dragging its feet there, hurting thousands and thousands and thousands of home buyers. On that note, we're going to slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll head to India's financial capital and tell you how property prices are trending in anticipation of the city's second airport in Navi Mumbai. Stay tuned.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.